I came to the event about 7 years ago, and maybe a bit longer ago with Colin Ross, and we weren't really involved officially back then, but I think I stood at Deep Well, which is about 90 k's into the start of the race, and the first 10 bikes went through, and there wasn't one single KTM in the top 10, and that kind of motivated me, I guess, and ever since that day I still remember the pain of standing there and not seeing a single KTM come through. So it's driven me pretty hard. I'm a pretty competitive person, and we were determined to come back and try and win the race. But we had a couple of heartbreaks before that happened, and it's the sort of race that even if you do all the hard work and you have everything in place, it's not like that you deserve to win it. It's a race that you need a lot of things to go right for you to win it. It's not necessarily about luck, but it's a tough one to win, and it's an annual event, so it's like the Melbourne Cup. If it doesn't go right, you've got to agonise over it for another 12 months before you can come back and try and get it right. Like all the others, it's something I really look forward to, and I think I've been for the last 6 years straight. It's just a really unique event. It's like nothing else that we get to do. It's one time a year you get to sleep in a swag under the stars, and it's just a very, very unique atmosphere. In terms of the event itself, it's extreme. It's right out there, the speeds, the conditions, the distance of the race. So it's radical, and there's nothing else like it in the world.
Just say that's the track, and then this is where that first fuel stop, where we come in. You'd have your first fuel right here, and you fuel from the left-hand side of the bike, and the other helper on the right-hand side. So that bike would be there with no wheels on it, the wheels ready in case something happened. And if you did have an issue with a tyre, you'd come in here, lift your bike, and then just pull that from there, put the bike on there, and then you're close to the other bike if you need parts off that bike. It's not far to go to get parts. So spot number 1, that's exactly where it was last year. Is that right? Next to that tree. And it's bunted off with this bunting curve. That's the bunting that you'll see later. And just at that tree, just before the corner.
Yeah, it's all starting to kick off at Friday night. This is where it all starts now. So all prep's been good and looking forward to it.
As soon as I fly into this place or drive into it, the Finke event is just, I don't know, something about it may click, and I have a lot of fun, and I just love blasting through the desert as fast as I can, and it's a challenge. Even though you're racing with other people, it's more of a challenge against myself, this place, to see how fast I can go, and definitely since Toby's come here, I've had to step up to a new level, and it's going to be the same from now on.
There's a little bit extra pressure on me this year, but you can't really think about that too much. It's just basically the same as any other time with having Grabo in the race or not in the race. So we'll treat it the same, and hopefully it all goes well and can bring home a win for the KTM team.
Yeah, well, actually, I guess mine's a bit of a strange story. Was a privateer up until about 6 weeks ago. Unfortunately, had his accident. Left the bike available, and then Chris Hollis has decided to pull out of the event as well. We just had then 2 bikes available sitting there with no rider, so I got the call up to come in as a replacement rider and fill in for Chris that wanted to focus on the Aussie Off-Roads and Ben that was injured, so absolutely jumped at the opportunity to ride the bike.
You can only do the best you can do, and we've done a fair bit of testing and pre-running, so if we ride 100%, where we finish, we'd love to win again, but the race is so unpredictable that you don't know what's going to happen out there.
It's definitely the fastest, toughest desert race in Australia, and there's no doubt the track is insanely rough now. I mean, the whoops are higher than a metre in some spots, deep, close together. There's airstrips before them, so you're coming in at high speeds, and the mixture, with the corners and the deep sand and the hard, the rock, the step-up cases. I mean, it's just got such a wide mix of track. You need to be pretty much good at everything and have a bike set up to do everything, which is really hard. You can't set the bike up for the nice, for the choppy stuff, and then also have it handling good in the whoops. So it's a lot of give and take.
You got to have a good run, eh? You really have to get going from the start. I mean, the likes of Toby and Ben, they've sort of turned Finke from a desert race into a bit of a motocross. They get going from the minute that they leave town. So we've sort of worked on maybe a bit of that instead of trying to build up into getting a rhythm going. And sort of worked on trying to get a rhythm going from the start. So it's all about just being smart, keeping your machine going, keeping your body up to speed, and sort of just making sure that you get down there consistently and that you sort of, you're running a pace similar to what the other guys are.
That's the start of the whole weekend, and if you can get a good prologue time and pretty well be on that first row, it makes a big difference. But like being out first, you don't know really where you are. Like guys could be pretty well still right behind you and you don't know, but it just, to get that dust-free run, it always helps.
How important is the prologue? Yeah, very important because it's so dry this year. It hasn't been this dry since probably 2007. So if you start a bit further back, what does that mean? You're in the dust or? Yeah, just dust. Like you're going to get riders that'll get tired, get stuck behind them, and just Toby or whoever's in front should be able to pull away a decent gap. You'll see in the first section, the dust just hangs there in between the trees, and it's white sort of powdery dirt, and you cannot see. You just have to slow down. So what are your thoughts on the boys this year? How do you reckon they're going to go? I've said it all year. Because they've got injured Toby should be good for the win. It's just a matter of getting down back one piece, and then right behind him, I reckon there's going to be a bit of carnage. There's just so many boys that are similar speed and all mixed up with each other. It's going to be an interesting race. You've got all your lines in your head where you want to be, and it's just a matter of trying to get on them. Grabo, when you see them like this, like completely different perspective. It looks a lot easier from up here, but I know it's not when you're down there. So I'm doing 190 kilometers an hour. Yep. And he's probably doing about 175. That's it. What do you think, Grabo? How's he riding? Yeah, he's looking good. He looks nice and comfortable and loose. So would he be starting to think about his fuel stop or anything now? Yeah, oh, not quite yet. He's got to get through a little few tricky sections up here. This is what we call deep well road crossing up here. Got a few corners, a few little hairy bits, and won't be thinking too much about fuel for a little bit, just staying smooth and trying to make time with the other boys. Just a few little tricky rocky creek crosses up here, you just got to be aware of with tyres and stuff like that. Does the bike get better with lighter fuel? Like, can you really feel it? Yes and no. It's better through the whoops, but then on a choppy ground, the bit more weight helps it to stay on the ground a little bit better. It's probably about now, you probably start to think you got your fuel stop, it's probably about a K away, if that.
Yeah, day one's gone pretty well. Got a good start and got out front pretty well straight up, and yeah, got a good dust-free run. So it just stayed on two wheels. Just when I got to the the harder sections in the whoops, just made sure I got through, and yeah, it's all turned out pretty well. But after those cars, like the buggies and the trophy trucks have been through, it changed the track a lot, and it's just, yeah, you've got to try and pick your way through, and you're the first one on it, and trying to find the lines where it's smoother and easier to get through. It makes it pretty hard, but yeah, like with the vision, like being dusty, the guys behind would have probably maybe had it a little bit harder. So I've done a lot of pre-running down here this year, and it's, yeah, to get into the actual race now, I've always found it like a lot easier to get to Finke than on the way home. Today it just changed the track so much. Like there's like no moisture in the sand, and I find where the cars maybe pack it down a little bit and make it a bit easier for us. This year it's just real dry, and they've just basically, it's like bombs are going off through there, and everything's just exploded, and it made it pretty hard in some sections. It's just like real square edge stuff, but yeah, that's why when I got into those sections and seen all that, I was like, yeah, you can't quite pick it too well. So yeah, I just made sure I got through and stayed on my two wheels, and yeah, when I knew a section was smooth coming up, I get back on the gas and go again, and just try and edge away a little bit.
How are we going? You're going great, mate. Just keep your head, keep focused on the track. That's all you got to do.
Pull lead.
Right, tap on.
Tap on.
Yep. Keep it up.
Yeah, I definitely know I have some in reserve. I could have got here a little bit quicker, but I'm here in one piece and sitting at the front at the moment. So as long as all the run home goes well, we should be sitting not too bad, I think.
I was thinking I'd pretty much half given up. I was just, I was trying to go fast through the whoops, and the back end was just stepping out of me everywhere, and I was like, well, it's not worth risking it, not worth, landing on my head. So I sort of just shut it down and started cruising there for a while, and seen a bit of dust, and sort of rekindles the spirit and turn the throttle and put it on the edge again. The first 50, 60 Ks, the arms are pumping up, and the track's all chopped up and stuff, and I think you recover a lot quicker. You get on the road section, get a bit of a breather, and then get into the big whoops, and same thing, you sort of know where you can get to have a rest, and you tend to push through and keep moving forward. Yeah, it's awesome seeing people out there having a good time camping and cheering us all on. I think it's the best, probably the best part about the race for sure. It gets you going and makes you laugh, some of the signs. And I think when I was getting close to Finke, I seen a sign that had last lap. It just cracked me up. It was like, good call.
Yeah, today went pretty well actually. They had a little bit of drama off the start. Got beaten by Jared Dooley off the start. So I copped a fair bit of dust for the first sort of 30, 40 Ks, then cleared out. And I was lucky enough to sort of leapfrog him at the fuel stop. Our team was just fantastic at the fuel stop, so passed him there. Then put up Brad, teammate, so had to follow him from the fuel stop through to the 110K mark. That's where we start the sandy whoops. So things are cleared out a little bit, the dust is gone, so I was able to make a move on him then. And then from there I had a fairly clean sailing down to the last sort of 180 k's. I sort of caught up to someone else and sat in a bit of dust again, but all in all it was a pretty good day. The KTM 450 went great. Came down awesome, didn't miss a beat all day, so I think definitely the best run I've had down, and I'd like to thank the team for putting me on board and giving me the opportunity to ride the bike.
Yeah, I got into a bit of a battle with AJ early up, and then he ended up getting in front of me and dusting me a bit, so I had to back off a bit there. And yeah, not long after that, I think about around 15, 20 k's, my right arm just pumped up really bad, and I thought, oh yeah, that'll go away, but it was only one arm, and just got down to about the 50, and it wasn't going away, it was getting worse. And yeah, I got to like the first fuel stop, and by that time, next to behind me, Jared and Fishy, they'd sort of caught up, and I got out of there and got going again, and sort of, I think I dusted them a fair bit after that, and I got to about halfway before I started coming good with my arm, and yeah, coming to the second field stop, and with Kari, and we were pretty close there through the whoops, and come out of there, and then from there on I was good. I felt good from 160 to the finish.
Pretty easy really for one of these races. Normally we get quite a bit of crash damage. This time the boys have all kept it on two wheels, so it makes our life a lot easier. This event, you have to know the track, you have to have track knowledge and a lot of experience.
It'll be nice just to actually get going and give it absolutely everything I've got, but then again you run the risk of having either bike troubles or ending up crashing, so we'll just take it as it comes. We'll try and work out how I'm sitting at the fuel stops, like if anyone's gaining or if I'm actually pulling away. If I'm pulling away, I'll just keep it at what I'm doing and just make sure we get there. And if they start catching, well, I'm pretty sure I've got some more in reserve, and we should be good to go. And try and pull that back out. It's definitely not the same not having Grabo here. He's actually here, but not having him in the race, it's definitely different. But he's been a great help. He's always been there to give little pointers where he can, and it's like you can't really learn much from anyone better at the moment. That Grabo is definitely the king out here, and still at this stage, it's a long way. But if I can get the win tomorrow, it's definitely not going to be really a win for me. It'd be nice just to try and settle that score a little bit with Grabo, but he's definitely the fastest man out here for sure, and it'll be good. We'll just hopefully I'll have to wait another 12 months and see how we go there. We got here in one piece, and we'll just take tomorrow as it comes, and if I have to, we'll flap off the back of it and go for it. I knew I had a pretty good lead, a comfortable lead. It wasn't some small thing could have went wrong and it would have been back close. But yeah, I just made sure I got down here safe, or got back here safe, and preserved the bike again. And yeah, the bike worked faultlessly. I can't pick one thing that ever went wrong anywhere along the way. So it was a good clean run back, and we just got into a good rhythm and a good, smooth, comfortable pace, and yeah, everything felt really good, and yeah, loving the trip back. Everyone just sees what I do, and it's unfortunate because there's so many people that are on board with us that actually help out. There's at least like 20 guys that are part of KTM that come along and help out, and then there's so many people at our fuel stops that are just people that don't get recognised. I can't rattle off names. There's so many people that help out, and we appreciate that so much. It lets our job be a lot easier, and it takes a bit of stress off us, and it lets me go out there and have fun and do what I love doing. So yeah, it's hard to try and think of everybody out there, but it's the boys do a great job, and they keep us going and basically keep our wheels turning for us, and I can't thank those guys enough.
Yeah, look, had a really good run home. Finished up 4th. It would have been nice. I was very close to getting on the podium there, and that was the ultimate goal coming here, was to get on the podium. Unfortunately, just missed out. 4th is where I finished, so yeah, happy with that. Probably going to put a bit more importance into that prologue. Started off 9th on day 1, and had a fairly dusty trip down to start with, and looking back, I lost minutes going down that on that first day. But I'm sure everyone's got the same story, and 4th is where we're at.
Yeah, I was back in 12th after the corrected time, and not really happy with that position, and really wanted to get in the top 10. That was my goal for today, and to finish in the top 10. And I had a really good run out of Finke, and ended up catching the 2 guys in front of me before our first field stop, and that gave me a bit of motivation to keep charging, and then got out of there, had a clear run from there, got past another guy, ended up getting past someone else, but I didn't even know, like, they'd broken down or whatever, so made it, come in 8th, but had a pretty clear run all the way home. Toby and Fish, he outdone himself this year. He really went well. So, but Toby just he was a league above everybody else, and it showed in the times and that. And I think Matt surprised himself how good he went, and yeah, so we all got in the top 10. We all finished. The bikes were awesome. Mick Cruz, he done an awesome job on the motors, built every motor from scratch, and they didn't miss a beat the whole weekend. So it was an awesome effort.
I'm really happy, but also really relieved. I guess it's. I guess there's a lot of work that goes into this race by a lot of people, and there's a big build-up over a long period of time. And I guess when you're in a position where you're in contention to win the race, you feel that fear of failure and all the rest of it. So as much as I'm really happy, and I don't think it's really gonna sink in until maybe later tonight. But really pleased for all the team and everybody that's contributed to the effort. It makes it all worthwhile when we can stand on top of the podium for the 4th time in a row. It's very pleasing. The only scary thing is it gets harder every time. Yeah, look, I probably wouldn't be sitting here talking to you, and also talking about our 4th victory in a row if it wasn't for Colin and the support of his company, the HSE group. It's been phenomenal. They really get behind what we do. His company, I guess we've partnered up on quite a few racing activities, and we think alike, and I think it's tremendous that we're able to sort of do this together. And I think we work well. I think the 2 of us working together makes a very, very strong, formidable team. and yeah, you know, we have similar ideas, similar cultures in our own companies, and it's a lot of fun to come away and do this sort of stuff and do it successfully, because we both like to win a lot. We both like to win, and yeah, I mean, can't be any better than that.
Yeah, it's an awesome feeling to get this win. It definitely means a lot, because it only comes around once a year, and it's yeah, definitely the best one we can win out of all the races that we do. So it's great to be on top of the box. Yeah, hopefully I can just keep coming back. It's yeah, what's Grabo? He's around 31 and he's won 4 or so. So and he's still definitely the best one out here for sure. He's definitely the king of the desert, and yeah, we just seem to be at the moment just chopping and changing and taking turns with it, and it's yeah, it's good. So for him being his age, it still shows that I can still probably be competitive at that age as well, and should hopefully be able to at least have another good 8 or so more Finks left in me, and yeah, just we'll take it as it comes, and hopefully we can yeah, get some more wins. And I'm keen as to get back out here and go again, and hopefully have that #1 board on the bike, and hopefully keep it on a KTM. But I'd like to try and take that little bit of a curse off that #1 plate and try and keep it on my bike. But well, yeah, we'll just see how we go. It's basically preparation for Finke 2013 starts tomorrow.